of that perfect person in your house. But tonight is Election Eve Sunday, where we're going to talk about how important it is to vote. We have to vote. It is the most important thing we can do as an African American community, as a community of any ethnic group you are. It's important to make sure that we have the people that are for our values. You have to consciously look at your values. Don't look at anybody else's. Look at yours, and you vote for the people who you want in office. But we have to go back for some history. Did you know there were some bills in Congress that African American people had to pass literacy tests? They had to pass poll tax. They had to pay in case they wanted to vote. So in 1964, they had some laws that would outlaw those poll taxes, literary taxes, and other practices that effectively prevented Southern blacks from voting. It authorized the authorized by the U.S. Attorney General to send federal troops to the South to register black voters. Can you believe that? In 1960, the Congress had to send people in to make sure that the blacks were able to vote. The Voting Acts of 1965 transformed patterns of political power in the South. By the middle of 1966, over 500,000 Southern blacks had registered to vote. And by 1968, 400 black people had been elected to offices. Now, but that's how we switched from Republican to Democrat, because the Democrats wanted to keep everything separate. They did not want us to join. So when a Democrat changed to being a Republican, the blacks in turn turned to be Democrats, because the Southern Democrats did not want us to be equal at all. So they switched to the Republican Party. So we did an intertwine of a switch. And so now they call the Republicans very conservative people, and they call the Democrats very liberal because they claim they let everything and anything pass. But it was just hard for everyone in those days. We couldn't get equal employment, equal benefits if we got sick. They could fire us from any reason they wanted to. So the civil rights not only helped voting, but just helped us to live as regular people. So that's why it's important for us on Tuesday to vote. Now, you can go ahead and vote today and then find your polling place and drop it in the box. Inside your envelope, you would have a sticker that says I'm voted, and you would have a ballot. And all of those things is inside a package. And let me show you what I bought for us this evening. I bought the voting materials that I received. Here's my voting instructions. It says the governor's executive order, all voters will be mailed a ballot. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, every active registered voter in San Diego County will receive a ballot in the mail for November 3rd, 2020 presidential general election. Voters safely voting at home. Act now. Making voting decisions and complete your ballot in the comfort and safety of your own home. There will be polling places on election day. Yes, in fact, there will be a polling place open for 4 days, October 31st through November 3rd. Be prepared. There will be fewer locations than in prior elections, so your location has the most likely change. If you decide to vote in person, you must go to your assigned location. You can look it up at sdvote.com. So they've made it very simple for us to go vote. And see, once you finish voting, you tear up your ballot right here. See, you tear this from your dotted line and you take your time and you use a black or blue ink and you fill out the circles completely. Once you do that, you put it in your yellow envelope and you sign it. Don't mail it in now, it's too late. You find your polling place and you drop it off there. And that's it. Now, I want to tell you to vote your conscience. Don't let anybody bully you into voting. You vote your conscience for your family, for yourself. Read the propositions yourself. They're in simple form to read. And it's important for us to do that. So let's do that. And look at me. I can't put that in the envelope, but I'm going to stop trying at the moment. So, and see, I'll get my sticker and I'll put it on. And then we'll go to the mailbox tomorrow. But that's what we have to do. Now, there are some propositions that are very controversial. And like Proposition 22. Now, I have to tell you, I was very proud of my Eddie and my grandson, Christian. This past weekend, they were at the house. Eddie is the last young adult that I have in my home. He's the baby that God sent to me. And so Eddie and Christian, now Christian just turned 18. And so he got his ballot. And he was asking me questions about the proposition. So I asked them both to come down and let's talk about them. Now, the one that got the most conversation was Proposition 22. Proposition 22 concerns the independent drivers for Lyft and Uber. Now, some people are saying no, because that exempts the executive people of those companies not to pay medical benefits, give you vacation time. They would pay your income tax, your Social Security tax. But if you become an independent driver, you'd have to do that yourself. Now, some people are saying, well, I don't want to clock in and work 8 hours. I want to be an independent person or contractor while I work the hours I want to work. And you just give me the money. So, Eddie thought they're getting away with a lot of money because They don't have to pay any dental, any vision, any hospital. See, if you're employed, your employer has to pay some of your medical, dental, and some employers even offer you eye insurance for, your vision insurance, I should say. So, but if you vote yes for 22, that independent driver has to pay for his own benefits. So some people use the employment for Lyft and Uber as part-time or extra income. And then there's other people who need it as their source of income. So it was a catch-22. You do or you don't. And so I told them to imagine themselves in that position. So I had two gentlemen who looked at the same proposition but had different views. Because Christian said, well, I'm in control of my hours. So if I don't want to work only 4 hours, I only have to work 4 hours. And then Eddie said, well, what about your benefits? And so he thought about it. But he still said yes. He voted yes on the proposition that the independent driver should have the freedom to do what they want. And so those were some of the conversations we had. Proposition 15, we talked about that, how some commercials said that the taxes were going to be raised on small businesses and everybody. That's not so. Proposition 15 said the taxes would be raised on those who are making over $3 million and above to help pay for school bonds and education. So you have to really go in the depth of what you're going to do Tuesday. And then, they have the polls now where they're saying African American people are voting more than they did in 16. They're standing in lines for hours and hours. And so don't get complacent because you think your candidate is in the lead, so you don't have to go vote. Things can change within 24 hours. You need to go vote. And then on the local atmosphere in Oceanside, we have several people who are running for mayor. And we need to read about them. We have a retired businessman. We have one person who's been in the state assembly. We have the first woman of color to ever run for mayor. We have one who's been on the council, who's been a councilman for years. We have a younger one who's been on the council recently. And so we have business people also. And then we have two African American women who are running for councilman seats. So let's read about them. Those are interesting people. We need to read about them and our measures in Oceanside. Take the time to read about everybody who's running for office, because it's not only important for those who are in the Senate and the Congress and the House of Representatives, but we have to vote locally because they're going to be in charge of what kind of roads gets fixed, what kind of neighborhoods get the facilities that we need, better parks, better hospitals. We have to vote for those people also. We have to read our pamphlets, our sample pamphlets. We have to read them and really study everybody who is running locally. We have school board people in other cities in Carlsbad, Escondido. And we have to read about those people, see what they vote on, see what propositions that they vote on. Do you agree with them? This is important. Like 2020 was the start of a new decade. The voting is going to be our future for the next 4 years, 20 years. But we have to take the time to vote. We must do that. We must take the time to vote. Read all of everything that we have. We need to vote, people. As simple as that. We need. Voting means that you took the time. You're concerned about the future for your children, for everyone. So we need to sit at the table with your husband, with your girlfriend, with your wife, with your children, grandchildren. Sit there, look at that ballot, go through those propositions, and vote. So I'm going on my break now. I'll be back in 2 to 3 minutes. See you soon.
I got laser vision focus. It's all faith, no hocus pocus. Put my mind where my mouth is. Now it sounded so immaculate. Hold up, let me stop that shit. Not trying to be cocky, but it's few and far between. I'm getting checked up on these beats.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
What is COVID?
COVID is a virus, one of the many germs that your body is constantly on the defense against.
Can I catch COVID?
It is very aggressive.
Really?
You can develop a temperature, you can lose sense of taste, lose your sense of smell.
Taste?
The virus is lethal enough to cause severe enough illness to cause your body to shut down.
What?
How do I stay safe?
We can stay safe by 3 simple methods. Number 1, wear a mask. Number 2, wash your hands very frequently. And the other one is keep your distance.
That's good.
We're all in this together, and we all have to do our part.
What's wrong with being compassionate?
Hi, I'm Ryan. Welcome to Missions Accomplished, where we connect God's resources to his people. We need your help to get the word out. We're here to serve you, the people. So we need you, the people, to tell us what you need. Are you a philanthropist? Does your neighborhood need cleaning up? Did you lose your dog? What do you need? Let us know, because our mission is your mission accomplished.
Hi, this is Mama G. I have my PhD in Parental Household Discipline. Whatever you have in your household, I probably raised it, taught it, loved it, spanked it, punished it. Now, you see what's on the table here? My beautiful merchandise. We can get a white t-shirt and a red hat. Don't worry about it. People won't think you're a Trumper. But it has Ask Mama G podcast. And then I have a pink shirt with a pink hat, embroidery in black that says Ask Mama G podcast. And I can also get it in black and blue. I can get any shirt in any size. For $2, if you get the hat and the shirt, it's $20. If you just get the shirt separately, the shirt is $12.50, and you get the hat separately, it's $12.50. So if you get them both for $20, you're saving a little money. And the proceeds goes to Ask Mama G production, and then a little of the proceeds go to the Rory Graham Jr. Foundation. In fact, pretty soon it's going to be Giving Tuesday, and I'd like everybody to go to the Cash App. I don't know how we do it. I forgot how. This is live, but you can go to the Cash App. I think type in Rory Graham Jr. Foundation, or you can just mail the $5 donation to Rory Graham Jr. P.O. Box 4306, Oceanside, California. And those proceeds go to our projects in the community where we help support financially some of the young men at that prestigious private school, Army Navy Academy. Also, we do a Dress for Success for the young men at Murray High School in Vista. So please donate to that foundation. It's a community foundation, and we're trying to help those young men become leaders for tomorrow. So please, let's donate. And I think we all look good in one of the hats. And then next week, we'll show you our mask that we have. We can get the mask in white and black with different color embroideries. It says Ask Mama G on the mask. So we're growing with our merchandise. So please just let us know whatever you want. You can drop us a line or drop us a comment on Facebook. So please let us know. Meanwhile, let's get back to that important topic of voting. We have to do that. You can go to the news station now where some people are acting responsible during the COVID, and then there's some who are not. Some are going to the big rallies, some are wearing masks, and some are not. I don't know what is going through their brain, but the COVID has killed over 200,000 people. So you need to be safe. Yes, you want to see your political leaders, but you don't have to risk your life, because once you die, you don't get back up and say, oh, let's try this again. You die and you don't come back. So think before you go to a rally without a mask. Think before you do that. Go where it's safe to go. Think before you do it. Follow your leader or the political person you want to win. Follow them by TV or Twitter or Facebook. But don't go to the rallies with nothing to protect yourself. That doesn't make sense. Herman Cain did that, and he's 6 feet. His body is 6 feet in the ground, because he didn't believe that the COVID was going to kill him. But it did. So please, be safe out there. And this is the first Sunday of November. We have to start thinking about Thanksgiving. Be grateful of what you have. I know some people, it is very hard. They have lost their job, their income, but they still have air to breathe. They can think of ways to survive. The better day is coming. I believe that with all of my heart, that the better day is coming. And God is in control. There's a story in the Bible how the people of Israel wanted a king. And they didn't want to follow God. They wanted a king like everybody else. So God allowed them to have Saul. Now listen to Saul's personality. Saul's personality was selfish. He loved power. He wanted everything to go his way. No compassion. And he just had an attitude that he was Mr. It. Did that sound familiar to you? So God allowed those people to have what they wanted, and things got worse. Sound familiar? So we have to think before we say, oh, well, this is good for right now. Both candidates have things that we don't like. But who has our best interest? Who has the compassion for the fellow men? Who wants everybody to prosper, not just the 10%? Who will be good for your life, for your conscience to vote for? That's what you have to do. You have to think, because you want your conscience to be clear when you vote. You want to feel good about your vote. So do it with a clear, wonderful conscience. Weigh both sides. Some are pro-life. What does that mean? That means, do they just want you to live and want you to be born, but not give you the opportunity to be the best you can be. Or the other side, who says, let a woman make her choice. That's between her and God. But on the other side, they open programs. They do have a little, their taxes may go a little bit higher, but that tax money goes for programs to help you to succeed. So which side are you going to pick? That's you. That's between you, your conscience, and God. Remember that what you pick, you have to live with. You have to go, was that the best choice I could do? Now, history is being made in this election. We have Kamala Harris, whose mother is Indian and father is Jamaican. So that makes her a woman of color. So she'll be Joe Biden's running mate. So if you want to go that route, you want to make history, but read about what she stands for. If you agree with everything she stands for and what Joe Biden stands for, you can vote for them. If you believe in Mr. Trump and what he stands for, law and order, the stock market, making money at any expense, any cost, then vote for him. But you make your choice. You live with your choice. That's what you have to do. You have to write it down, make it plain. And then there's a saying, write your plans in pencil and let God be the eraser. So if there's something wrong in your life that God doesn't like, let him take over and correct it. Because in the end, he decides, because he is the creator of all. He has the final say. He allows what goes on. So make sure that you have a conversation with God. Make sure that you have a good conversation with him as you go through that ballot. You have to make sure that you have a wonderful conversation with him, because people died for us to vote. People died for us to vote, and they want us to make sure that we do everything we should do to vote. Now, Prop 23 is another controversial proposition. It's talking about dialysis centers, people with kidney problems. They need dialysis to stay alive. If we vote no, it will close some clinics that some people use that may be near to their homes. Dialysis patients sometimes need transportation to the center. And their lives, they have to spend 2 to 3 hours for the procedure. And so you want to make it as comfortable as possible for them. Yeah, it may cost, but let's weigh it. You want them to live longer? It may cost us, but life is precious. And we need to have everybody live as long as they could until God says it's time for them to go. Don't take something away from them that they need to stay alive. Please, let's have a conscience with that. Because some people will vote no. Because it's going to raise their taxes. You're going to have all this money and you're going to leave it. You can't do anything with the money when you die. Yes, you can put some away for your family to survive. I understand that because I'm doing that for my grandchildren now. but be a blessing to some people. So that's another controversial one that people are discussing a lot. Do we want, and then Proposition 25 about the proposition about cutting bail out for certain offenses. But just think, if you didn't do anything wrong, you wouldn't have to have the bail bondsman in your life. Just think about that. But then society is like that. For those who have money can pay the bail, they get out. For those who can't, they stay in and they lose their job. Their family loses their income. So the choices you make makes you in where you are. Let me say that again. The choice that you make determines where you're going to be. So for me, Proposition 25 was very hard to comprehend, to understand. Well, if they didn't do anything wrong, they wouldn't need the bail. And then society does think that African American people don't have the responsibility or the know-how to stay out of trouble. So they're going to raise the bail and make them stay in jail. That's not right. But those who have money, have position, they can get out sometimes without even paying bail because they're popular or they have the position or the race to get out. So you have to read Proposition 25 yourself and think about it. But that's what we have to do. These next 2 days, listen and read the propositions. You have to. That's the most important thing you can do. Because the proposal says Proposition 25 is on the SB 10 and will determine where a bill will go in effect. A yes vote means that SB 10 will go in effect, and a no vote will reject SB 10. Specifically, to approval of this proposition would eliminate release on bail, create a new process for release before arraignment, and change the existing process for release at arraignment. So, for some people, they go, yes. And then some people are like, that's unfair. So, you can do something wrong, go to jail, and they look at your record and they say, well, we'll trust you to come back. Well, there could be a percentage of people that would come back. And then there's some that would flee. What do you do then? So that's why you need to read the proposition yourself and think about what would you do in that situation. That's all you have to do. Is think about it. What if you had a family member that got into a situation and they needed to come home and continue to work? But nowadays, if you get arrested, you lose your job immediately. So let's live a right life. Let's not do anything that would put you in jail. Let's do that. Because your action will affect everybody in your household. And we don't want to do that. We don't want the kids to be disappointed. We don't want your wife to be stressed. We don't want your parents to be stressed. We don't want your family to come together and borrow money here from John, Peter, and Paul to get you out because you weren't thinking when you were in that situation. But we have to say a happy birthday to a special young man. His name was Brandon Rogers. He passed away and he turned 33 this past week. He's in heaven with the Lord. He was a bright young man who became a doctor. He did his first year residency back east. I know his mother, Carmelita Rogers, and his father, Reverend Danny Rogers. They were wonderful parents. And they lost their son, Brandon. And he had a birthday this week. But I want to let her know that God is still holding her close to him. This journey is a hard one, but you will survive. You will. And anytime you need me, just call me. And then, so November, next time we meet, we're going to talk about Thanksgiving and why we're grateful. Even though this is a terrible time, but we're still breathing. We're still walking and talking, trying to stay safe. Try to live sensibly because God is in control. Whatever you think, remember, He created us all. He knows every hair on our head. He has plans for us. So let's continue to look up to Him and ask Him to help us guide us in our lives. And when we fall, because we are human, He will dust us off, say, let's try it again and do better. So this is Mama G. Tuesday night, remember to go vote. Tuesday, go vote. Turn in your ballot. If you go to the polling place, stay 6 feet apart, wear your mask, take some water with you. Be patient. Don't let them say, oh, they can't take you. By law, if you get there before 8 o'clock, they have to let you vote. Then drive home safely. Pray that everything goes well and start life over again. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. God loves you, and so do I. Good night.
World Tune Radio, where the world tunes in. The West Coast's premier podcast network.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
What is COVID?
COVID is a virus, one of the many germs that your body is constantly on the defense against.
Can I catch COVID?
It is very aggressive.
Really?
You can develop a temperature. You can lose sense of taste, lose your sense of smell.
Taste?
The virus is lethal enough to cause severe enough illness to cause your body to shut down.
What?
How do I stay safe?
We can stay safe by three simple methods. Number one, wear a mask. Number two, wash your hands very frequently. And the other one is keep your distance.
That's good.
We're all in this together, and we all have to do our part.
What's wrong with being compassionate?
Hi, I'm Ryan. Welcome to Missions Accomplished, where we connect God's resources to his people. We need your help to get the word out. We're here to serve you, the people. So we need you, the people, to tell us what you need. Are you a philanthropist? Does your neighborhood need cleaning up? Did you lose your dog? What do you need? Let us know, because our mission is your mission accomplished.
Played it cool like a brew on a hot summer day. Fooled around for a bit, bossed up and got paid. Been a leader of the wave since way back in the day. Check my resume, suburb living, got street credibility. Probably cause my color skin all the way open doors for the talent of the people ain't letting in. I don't know, guess I know when I'm gone. In the meantime, might flip a couple businesses. Make tracks, let you know who my business is. Spit facts like all true senses. Looking for a check, never checking for your sentiments. Got a family that need food on the table. Living what I spit, ain't no time for a fable. We gon' be the revolution. Don't need no cable. Different avenues of revenue. Don't need no labels. What you thought, man? That I put in hella work just to flop, man. Now I'm tucked in the cut, getting money with the top, man. Why you stump, looking stuck like, man, Crispy wasn't vibing like he vibing way back then. Never spoke a word, but now they acting like they know him. But it's all love, cause your boy collecting on the back end. I got laser vision focus, it's all faith, no hocus pocus. Put my mind where my mouth is, now it sounded so immaculate. Hold up, let me stop that shit. Not trying to be cocky, but it's few and far between. I'm getting checked up on these beats.
World Tune Radio, where the world tunes in. The West Coast Premier Podcast Network.